Hi there everyone, welcome to Avid Secret Studio. We have an awesome guest today. I'm super excited to get into a chat with Jess Jackson. Jess is an absolute beast. Production, engineering, absolute everything. Bro, you've worked with the greatest people probably that have been on this planet. You've morphed yourself into an awesome brand. I want to dive into kind of your journey. And of course, it wasn't easy, right?
Right.
But yeah, I've given a little introduction, bro. Also, I'd love to hear something from you as well about who's Jess Jackson.
Oh, wow. Well, as you know, I'm from the UK like you.
Yeah.
And, I grew up in London
Yeah.
in the 80s and 90s. And then, I was doing music back then. I was doing UK garage and drum and bass and all like the underground stuff, DJing in the raves.
Early days.
And I was a DJ for
Yeah.
14 years or so, scratching and DJing in the clubs and whatever. And then I kind of taught myself, like as all DJs do, how to produce, because as a DJ, you can only go so far, by playing other people's music and so on. So we used to like produce our own music in the bedrooms and like cut dub plates on the weekend. Like we'd go and cut a dub plate on a Friday night and then go to the club and play it on Saturdays, Friday nights and Saturdays. And then the next week we would spend like producing music again and then cut a new dub plates on Friday and then play them out that weekend.
Oh my God.
So, and a dub plate, on vinyl,
like
acetate.
Wow.
And that was like, what I did for like 10 years.
Oh my
before,
God, man.
CDJs came along.
Wow. So you was DJing before the whole production thing really kicked off? Or like, was it a bit of dibble dabble kind of here and?
No, I was like fully in it, but it was like, we were doing like, it was just all vinyl back then. So the only way you could play your exclusive songs out was to like, put your productions on a DAT tape, take it to a dub plate house. It was in the center of London.
Wow.
Called Music House. And it was just like a little shack, like a little Jamaican dub plate spot. And we used to go in there and like, we used to give them our DAT, give them £20, about $30 or whatever. And they would cut us our dub. And then you'd have your dub plate and you get to go and play it that night in the club. Or on radio, whatever. Like.
I also wanted to like talk about obviously your process in production and how you started. Obviously, it's not easy to get to position, bro, right? Of working with great people, making great music. Obviously, that starts from that. Obviously, is being great at what you do. But bro, I've been following your journey for a very long time, bro. I'm a fan, and I love everything you do from working with Tiger, Kanye. Autotune, I think it's such an amazing thing. But again, it wasn't easy. And I want to just talk about how you got kind of into the industry and how hard it was. Rather than saying, because people look at it from the outside and go, oh, it was easy, man. Or like a few tracks out on SoundCloud or MySpace or whatever it may be back in the day. But it wasn't that easy, was it?
No.
It was really difficult, bro. And a lot of, could you, if I asked you how many hours a day you put in, could you give me a 9 to 5?
No.
No way, right?
No.
Yeah, let's maybe just touch on kind of like how you got to kind of working with people. What was your first kind of big break in the industry?
I don't know if there is ever really like a big break as such. Like maybe it is that way for some people, but I think I kind of played the slow journey on it, and it was a lot of work, It's like, I was lucky enough to meet the people that I met.
Right.
But then at the same time, was it luck? Like I believe in self-fulfilling prophecies, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you go out there with the intention of trying to obtain something or do something for yourself, you can achieve it. And whether or not you get like 20 no's or 40 no's or 100 no's, like it's that one yes that you got to take advantage of, right?
Wow.
So it's just about meeting the right people and then, just being yourself. And then eventually, like, something's gonna
true.
Take.
It's also like the hard work and obviously, like you said, like being yourself is so important.
Yeah.
I think you had that as well, right? You was always yourself. I remember, is it a clip or a picture where you're in a hotel room and this just goes against like that whole have a big studio, but you're in a hotel room, bro, and you're recording Tiger. Is it?
Yeah, we used to always
Or
do
you're in
that.
you're in a video or something. I remember there was shooting a video.
I know Tim
coming
Westwood
in.
did a thing on us
It
once.
was that one. It was
And
that
we were
one.
like, we were in
Yeah.
London and
I remember that.
yeah.
Like that as bro, I grew up like watching that. That was kind of stuff that I'd watch. Like when people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, do you watch like his Netflix show?" And I'm like, "No, that's the kind of shit I'm watching when I'm eating my food, bro." So for me, it's like I remember that, and I remember seeing it, and I was like, "What? They're not recording in a studio? They're like in a hotel room." Like, you'd never think that.
But I think it's quite common nowadays.
Now it's like, you can open up a laptop, chuck on Pro Tools, and just start recording, right?
Yeah, we used to travel with a lot of gear.
Really?
It was heavy. Yeah, it was a long time to get through customs.
Would you have to do like loads of checks and stuff? Did they check?
Yeah, I mean,
everything?
like if you're traveling with a Sony C800 microphone,
Oh my God.
like in the X-ray machine, it looks like a machine gun. You know what I mean?
Exactly, right? And the cost of it is probably really high as well. So
yeah,
it's a lot to travel with as well.
Well, you can't check it in. You got to carry
Oh
everything.
my God, that's insane. So if it's over, because I know this is so off topic now, but if it's over like obviously 10 grand, you have to declare that kind of stuff as well, considering the value of it is so high as one item.
I don't know if we ever did.
Wow, good.
I think it's like too much hassle to declare it, so we should
Yeah.
just say it's worth like $10 or something.
Oh yeah, it's not like they'll be like, oh, okay, cool, like one musician security patrol or something. But dude, I want to get into a little bit on your Pro Tools kind of stuff. You're pretty much a wizard on Pro Tools, right?
I don't know.
You're like, so how long have you been using Pro Tools for?
When I first started really using it, it wasn't called Pro Tools.
Oh wow, that's a soundbite right there.
It was called Sound Tools. So that's when I first ever saw it.
Wow.
And started using it as like, I don't know if I was an intern. I was more like one of those kids that were like, "Hey, can I like hang out, please?" And like bother you to death until you like are sick of me and want to kick me out of the studio. I was like one of those kids, you know what I mean? Like I'll do anything. I'll make the coffee or like I'll clean the equipment.
Mate, the runner,
But I was so annoying, man. I would be like, you know, what does that do? And what does that do? And instead of like just watching people do things, I always had this like mindset of like, why?
Wow.
Why did you choose to do it that way? Why this? Why that? And they'd say, oh, you know, because it sounds good. Yeah, but why?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I used to ask so many questions. People were like, Jess, can you just shut up, please? And like sit at the back.
Wow. So you was hungry though, right? At a young age, again, a lot of things that I've realized today is that the people that I've spoken to or generally speak to this whole trip I've been in LA, is the hunger that they had. Right. The hunger that they had, the drive. There was no kind of like, all right, cool, 6 now, let me just cut off and sit back. It was literally I was with someone the other day and he was just telling me that he used to sweep floors and used to make the coffees, the teas and the waters and go get the sweets or snacks, whatever. And I was like, you're a dope engineer. But he's like, yeah, but that's how I became the dope engineer, right? And how someone became into business, whatever it may be. So I think that's amazing, man. And do you still use Pro Tools kind of now a lot, or is it kind of changed? Do you have assistants or?
Yeah, no. So like now, like my primary tool is Pro Tools.
Wow.
You know, it's like it's always loaded on the main rigs. And whether or not we're using other things to produce, we always fly those parts into Pro Tools the moment that they're ready to go. Right. And so like Pro Tools is really like the beginning of an idea and the end of the idea, and whether we use other things in the middle somewhere, like we might, but like I always finish in Pro Tools.
Wow, that's mad. And I know you're obviously building some super mega desk right now, which is amazing. Been following it, and bro, that is like, you got to be I'm an audio nerd as well. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, wow.
You know, growing up and listening to Chronic 2001 and all the like, you know, all through the 90s. Everyone would just mix on SSL, G pluses or E's, right? And ever since I was a kid, I dreamed about the day that I could have an SSL in my house. You know?
Mate, that's so good.
And so, yeah, I found myself an old SSL console, which Spike Stent actually was selling because, you know, he's moved back to the UK now.
Wow.
And you know, it's only a 16-channel console. It's quite small in regards to a lot of them were like 72
huge,
channels.
Yeah.
But I'm going to expand it a little bit. Bruce Desktops is going to help me expand it, and we're going to turn it into like a 32-channel.
Okay, right.
But it's still quite small in consideration. But it has to fit in my house.
Right. Yeah.
It's got to be like reasonable, and I'm not trying to like, you know, have a have a $20,000 a
Oh my
month power
god!
bill.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's so true, man. And then I just want to quickly just touch on now Autotune, right? Jess, when I think that's when I saw, like, I mean, I just saw like as soon as you get, I mean, I probably don't know the ins and out, but I feel like you changed a lot with the branding, or like a lot of change. It just looked so much cooler. Like it went from that kind of, I mean, as a kid, I knew it as like T-Pain's using Autotune.
Right.
And then as soon as I saw you was on there, and then it just changed, and everything looked so much more like its own brand and amazing. So I saw that as the outside. I was like, wow, Jess has definitely had an impact on this company. But tell me how that came about, or like how you got involved with Autotune and the passion you put into Autotune and building it up.
I mean, you know, yeah, it does look a lot better now, I have to say. I won't take 100% responsibility for that stuff because, you know, we've got a big team now. Like when we acquired the company in 2017, there was only like 7 or 8 staff members. What? You know, and a few of us were the owners. So really there was only like 5 staff.
Wow, man.
And now we're at, I think 48 employees. 47, 48 employees.
Wow.
So it's grown a lot since then. So, you know, we do have like graphic design teams and marketing teams and so on and so forth. And we've been lucky enough to be able to expand in a way that we can grow the company exponentially and do the things that we've wanted to do with it.
Wow. That's amazing, man. I love that. Well, Jess, last question that I've got for you, man, is what's next for Jess Jackson? What are we looking to hear? We're looking to see?
Yeah. I'm starting my own label. I'm starting to sign artists.
Amazing.
Producers, songwriters. And we're just doing cool stuff, man. Like, you know, it's not like how it used to be where, you know, you've got majors controlling this and doing everything else. It's like, you know, we can do everything in-house now, which is beautiful. And thanks to you guys, like with the technology and everything, you know, with the capabilities in my own house now, I can start a project and finish it same day and have the atmoses same day, if not next day. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing to be able to do it all inside a workstation like Pro Tools and be able to, you know, run a record label essentially out of a house.
You'd never think you could do that like 20, 30 years ago, right?
Nah.
Like now it's changed.
I mean, you couldn't.
Yeah, it's true actually, right? You didn't have all the online resources and stuff. And now it's like, mate, that's amazing. That's what I was literally thinking when I asked that question, I was like, what would be the next step? But that literally is like the next step. And have you kind of like kicked it off, or are you thinking to kick it off this year or pretty soon?
Yeah, so it's already started. The companies have been registered.
Wow, man.
You know, I'm already working with artists at the moment that are about to have amazing careers.
Oh, man.
It's great stuff, you know.
Bro, good luck, Jess.
Thank you, bro.
Dude, I can't wait. And yeah, thank you so much, man. That was amazing.
Oh, bro.
Jess.